This is an NYY Sports Talk podcast, presented to you by Baseballism, a premium lifestyle apparel brand inspired by America's pastime. Baseballism is America's brand.
Now batting for the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number two.
Welcome back. This is episode 116 of the NYYST Podcast, presented to you by Baseballism.com. I am your host, Christian, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
Waterlogged Sunday evening here. The game was called probably about an hour ago. The Yankees win a rain-shortened game against the Minnesota Twins 4-1. The Yankees win the series 2-1.
Go figure.
Not really a surprise, even though the Twins came into the series with the best record in the American League.
Did they leave the series with it? I think the Rays might have caught them.
But
yeah,
Saturday's game actually snapped an 8-game losing streak that the Twins had in the Bronx. They have not won a series in the Bronx since 2014.
That's crazy.
So the Minnesota Twins continue to struggle at Yankee Stadium. So the tonic that cures the Yankee ails always prevails and continues to be the Minnesota Twins. I was out at the stadium today, Sunday afternoon. You got the word, I forget when they announced it. It was probably during the game Saturday, that because the forecast just looked terrible all weekend long for Sunday. Initially, you looked at it and said, light rain, maybe around 2:00. And you're like, yeah, they'll play through that. And all of a sudden they're like, nope, we're just going to flat out say the game starts at 4:00.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it very rare for the Yankees to do that?
What, start a game at a different time?
No. Make that call so early on during the game that's going on, or maybe it was right after.
It was a great move on their part, because they would have had a 3-hour rain delay. We all know that the weather was terrible.
Oh, yeah. Today. I was shocked they even got that many innings in without a delay.
So they announced it 4:00, and I'm on my phone all morning, because I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for them to say, "Oh, we're not playing today," because the weather was terrible.
It was awful. Miserable.
I took my dog out at 7:00. It's pouring. Took the dog out at 8:30. It's pouring. I stuck my head out the window to see if it was raining at 10:00. It's pouring. I go to get a haircut at noon. It's pouring. It's pouring, and what I didn't want to happen is I went to the game with my cousin who lives in West Milford, which is about 45 minutes from where we live. I didn't want him to come all the way down here and then just to go back up to his house. So I'm like, every second I'm checking, and then it was I don't know, maybe around 1:30, 2:00, and the Yankees have released an official statement saying, "We have checked with Major League Baseball and we will continue to open the gates up at 2:30 as presently scheduled."
Did it rain during the game?
It was
how was it being there? Shitty?
It wasn't a great experience. It wasn't terrible until I'd say around the 6th.
How old your cousin's kid?
11.
How was it being with an 11-year-old during that kind of weather?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know she was there. She was great. She was just happy to be there.
Did you get a baseball bat?
She did, which I was very happy for, because we got there late. I was trying to.
Is it a wooden bat?
Oh, it's a nice
legit bat.
It's a 30-inch
Brian
bat.
Hoke actually tweeted a picture of all the
nice
bats.
Bat. It's 30. A little light, but it's long.
You
nice.
could barrel one up though on there?
Huh?
You could barrel one, get a nice swing across it?
I think if you connected, it would shatter in half.
Right.
Yes.
But it's a nice bat for a display piece. So anyway, I was happy that, because this was her first game, and I was happy that she was able to get a bat, because we got there late. It was probably like 20-4 when we got there, which I never usually get there late, especially on a giveaway day.
Never.
But I was trying to cut down the amount of time between game and sitting around because of the weather. And then we hit a bunch of traffic going into New York today. So I was like, I really hope we get a bat, you know. And then, we got there, fast track entrance, Yankee Universe membership. Boom, right in. And then there was plenty of bats. I felt good. Marina got a bat. Real happy for her, right? Then I see some dickhead walking around with 4 bats in a gym bag with no kids with them.
Unreal.
Like, how do you get a bat? How do you get 4 bats?
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah, what's that?
Do you have to go through the regular protocol of, and I'm not just talking you, I'm talking in general, like they make you take your hat off, your cell phone out of your pocket, you go through the metal detector.
Yes, and then they give you
and then they hand you a wooden baseball bat.
Yes, then they hand you a baseball bat.
It's like, what's that movie where The Surge? It's like they frisk you down, but then they're just like, okay, here you go.
Well, I think their rationale is that they're giving
the Purge.
They're giving a baseball bat to a child, so they're not anticipating any violence. But
is there a bunch of
you got a guy
10-year-old
with 4 of them?
Bunch of 10-year-old kids walking around without parents?
Did you try doing that trick where you hide it in the trunk and hope they forget?
No, because I didn't want to do that to her. She was really excited to get the bat. So.
And she was good. If she was misbehaved.
And she was really good. I told her that even I would take her to a game when the weather got nicer, so she could really enjoy it, because they have a Mighty Quins at Yankee Stadium, and she housed. I
didn't know they had them. Oh yeah, I did. I love Mighty Quins. Oh, it's so good.
You like barbecue?
It's so good.
But you don't eat meat, you said.
Yeah, sometimes I'll eat.
Or you would have to make an exception.
Yeah,
for
this. All right, I will.
There's one on Route 3 by where Zimburger is.
Yeah,
we
really
we would
good.
have to go.
And I'm not a big barbecue fan.
I like barbecue.
This episode is brought to you by Mighty Quins.
Like a pulled pork sandwich.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted ribs. She housed a half rack of ribs.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I love her.
So here's the funny thing, right? And somebody listening can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last year there's a shop down on the main level of Yankee Stadium where you can buy a mystery baseball, and it's signed by a player. Now you pay $50. And it's completely random. Like, they had a whole list of players that you could get. They're
probably all Greg Bird balls.
No, well, here's the thing. Last year, it was, you could get a Derek Jeter ball, a Mariano Rivera
it could
ball.
be even retired players.
Yeah, right. Or like there was like an Aaron Guile ball in there. Yeah.
So you could be paying $50 for a Chan Ho Park ball.
It's completely random, but it was current players mixed in with past players, stars mixed in with bums, right? And my cousin was like, he's like, you know what, that would be pretty cool. $50, I'll get her a ball to go along with the bat, you know, right? But then when his wife went down, first of all, my wife and his wife disappeared for like 4 innings.
They were probably drinking wine.
They did.
They
drink.
had. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
What do you blame them?
They're drinking wine.
They're drinking wine.
Do you blame them?
That's cool.
What?
With the weather, you gotta find a way to have some fun.
Pinot
at that
Gris.
point.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that I spent money on the tickets for them to disappear.
So they got this autograph. You got
no. Well, here's the thing. They changed, unless I had the price mistaken, but they definitely changed who was available to you. Now it's for $100. You got a ball.
What?
You got a ball signed from a member of the 2018 Yankees. But here's the issue. Sonny Gray was listed as one of the players you could get a ball from. And credit to both my wife and my cousin's wife, they did not want to spend $100 to get the chance of getting a stupid guy baseball.
This is pretty bad. Like, how do they even sell any of these?
Well, that's what it was. My cousin was like, he said, listen, for $100, if I don't get an Aaron Judge ball, I don't get a John Carlos Stanton ball, I'll take the risk, whatever. He goes, he said, I wouldn't even pay $5 for the chance to get an Aaron Judge ball, knowing I could get a Sonny Gray baseball.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know your cousin is a Yankee fan, but he's not like someone who even follows the team that closely, right?
I would say he's probably...
But he knows how shitty Sonny Gray is.
Yeah, he does, because him and I both have the same hatred for Sonny Gray for the same reason. The day we went to bury our grandmother, he's sitting there laughing when he's getting shelled by the Baltimore Orioles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question? Because you're a collector.
Okay.
You love collectible shit. I'm not a big autograph guy, even if they're signing the autograph for me right in front of me. I'm more of like a picture guy. Like, if I could take a picture with the player, that's pretty cool. even if I got an Aaron Judge ball for $100, I would still be like, why did I just pay for this autograph?
$100 is. I probably wouldn't for $100.
All right, even $50 though.
For $50, I would do it.
Why though?
I would just think it would be cool to have in my collection for $50 to have Aaron Judge's autograph on a baseball.
Guess. But doesn't it take away for you like that he didn't sign it for you? Isn't that the whole point of it?
Well, I have a Derek Jeter autograph.
So do I.
Hanging in my man cave. He didn't sign that for me. I still display it proudly. Still, how many people have something like that?
Yeah, but you're getting it for the fact that you can hang it up and stuff. You're not getting it like, oh my God, I just got Derek Jeter's autograph.
So what's the difference?
To have it on a baseball to me,
I would display it with all my other stuff.
Oh, wow. You met Aaron Judge and he signed an autograph? Nah, I paid for it.
So people pay for autographs all the time.
I understand. It's just not for me. I'm just not that guy.
You don't think I'd pay $50 for Aaron Judge's autograph? I got a baseball with Chad Green's name on it.
For me, the whole lure of getting an autograph.
He struck out Tim Tebow the other day.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Chad Green.
Tebus?
Tim Tebus.
Speaking of the Mets, we should talk about that real quick. But for me, the whole thing of an autograph is that they're signing it for you right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
I wouldn't pay exorbitant money to get an autograph, but if somebody said, "Hey, I can guarantee you this is an authentic Aaron Judge autograph on this baseball, and it's $50," I don't know. All right.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
Okay.
Now, when you mix that mentality that I have with the fact that it could be Sonny Gray,
they
then
should say
forget
everyone but Sonny Gray.
They should cross him off the list.
And I told my cousin, I go, you know what you're paying. I bet you all the balls are Sonny Gray balls.
All of them. Most of them.
90% of them.
90% Sonny Gray.
You got 10 people walking out, but like,
I'm trying to compare it to something that, like, the odds when it's like there's a small odds that you can get someone great, but most likely you're going to get the shitty one. There's like a thing you can gamble on or whatever. And I can't think of what I want to compare it to, but that's what I want to compare it to.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to compare it to, but that's exactly what it is.
That's it. Anyway, speaking of Tim Tebow and the New York Mets, you know, they lost that game last night.
Yeah, I did.
Did you catch any of that? 18 innings.
No way.
Yeah.
18 innings they lost.
Is that the Brewers?
Yeah.
Did Alonso tie the game in the ninth?
Honestly,
ninth inning,
don't you feel like the Mets every year have this one game that just never ends? I remember the one year they play 20 something innings against the Cardinals.
It was like 22 innings. I mean, if you're going to play that long, you got to win. I mean, you're basically playing a doubleheader.
It reminded me of when the Yankees played the Cubs a couple of years ago. And the whole time I'm watching, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, they better win this game.
Oh, yeah. I fell asleep.
They won, right?
Chapman blew that game in the ninth.
Yep. That was during the stretch when the Yankee bullpen, Betances was miserable. He couldn't throw strikes. He wasn't getting hit. He just couldn't throw strikes. Every game, it felt like the Yankees had a 4-1 lead, 3-1 lead in the 8th, and they blew it every night.
That was in 2017.
It was a couple years ago.
They actually showed the highlight of Gardner hitting the home run in the 9th inning today at the game because I think it was on May 5th also. That was a big statement series for the Yankees.
That was right around the All-Star break.
No, it was in May.
It was earlier. Yeah, it was early in the year.
It was in May. That's why they showed it today.
No, I meant when the Yankees went through that stretch, their bullpen where they couldn't hold a lead.
Well, we were just talking about a game in May against the Cubs.
Yeah, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, you're lost again.
That game in particular. Yeah, but that wasn't the game that Gardner hit that home run. That was a day game.
Next caller.
It's a different game, but the same series.
Correct.
Okay. Well, bless you.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Jesus.
All right. Anyway.
I don't say God bless you to him. I did it twice tonight.
Some brother.
I know, right?
He goes out of his way to not wish me.
I pulled the plug on the game after the 7th inning because it was starting to get miserable out there. Like really super miserable out there.
Yeah. Some fan.
Yeah.
I honestly.
You wouldn't even have went today.
No.
You would have disappointed that little girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She would have hated me for the rest of her life.
We get in the car, and then all of a sudden I hear John going, "Oh, here comes Aroldis Chapman." I'm like, "What the hell just happened? Why is Aroldis Chapman in the game?" Because we were Adam Ottavino was coming in, and all of a sudden now, I know I didn't walk to the car. And,
what, did he just mess up?
Oh, Ottavino. I don't know what happened because we were walking to the car,
Chapman
but
he pitched.
He did.
He threw to one batter. No?
Ottavino.
Nice strikeout.
he left with second and third, or first and second.
Runner
and
on third.
No, there was 2 runners on.
No, there wasn't.
I think so.
Oh, when he left, not when the game was delayed.
No, when Ottavino was pulled,
Yes,
there was 2 runners on. Yeah, so I don't know, but I guess what you could say is the big story coming out of the game today is Domingo Germán, the ace of the New York Yankees.
Listen, we could sit here and laugh, and it is comical if you really want to think about it, but this guy has not just been the best pitcher for the Yankees. He's been one of the best pitchers in the entire league.
If I told you on May 5th,
Boone was asked this question, what you're about to ask me.
No, listen, if I told you on May 5th, and this is Luis Severino's healthy, right? Let's say he's healthy. And I told you on May 5th, he was 6-1 with a 2.35 ERA and his whip was 0.89. Would you be happy with that?
Can you tell me what his batting average against would be?
What is his batting? I don't know what it is on top.
I believe it's 155,
158.
158.
All right, so those are his numbers. That's Luis Severino. Would you be happy with that?
If it was Luis Severino.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
All right.
I'd be like, he's having the season that we need him to have.
And this is Domingo Germán. We've been looking for, and we'll talk about this in a minute, that James Paxton's on the injured list now. You know, it's like one comes back, it's like another one goes.
Just one of those years.
We were looking for the guy to step up and replace Luis Severino. And we're saying, is it Paxton? Is it Tanaka? Who is it? It's Domingo Germán. He stepped up. He stepped in this rotation, and he's given you a stat line that you would expect out of Luis Severino. So he's come in here and done what you would want out of Luis Severino, who, by the way, Brian Cashman was on MLB radio today and said that you will not see Luis Severino before the All-Star break this year.
Pretty sure I said that. When he asked me, I said, no, we'll see him after that.
So
if we're lucky. So
we'll get into what that means about Luis Severino in a minute, but you got to tip your cap to Domingo Germán. We've seen this out of him, though, in his career, especially last year, where you've seen these flashes of a guy with devastating stuff. But then for whatever reason, he'd have that one inning where it would just completely fall apart, where he couldn't find the plate, where he would get smacked around.
And then his walk totals, you know?
Yeah, but look at that. After that first start, his walk totals have been in check. He's had, after his first start on April 1st, he walked 5 guys, and you said it. But then look at that, 2, 0, 0, 1, 1. And then what did he walk today? He walked 3 today. All right, which is a little high, but I'll give him a little bit of a pass due to the weather. Probably
right. 6 2/3.
He pitched really well today. This guy is
5 out of his 7 starts. He's given up 2 or less runs.
Well, he only had 6 starts because the one time he came in and he piggybacked
CC, right?
And that was the filthiest he looked all year. Is when he was able to come in and just air it all out.
Well, we talked about how devastating he could be out of the bullpen, but if he's going to pitch like this, man, he's not a bullpen guy.
His worst start this year was that Kansas City start, and he gave up 3 runs over 6 innings, which I think you'd still take that every time Domingo Germán takes the mound.
Oh,
and then
really?
His last start, he was great.
Really, San Francisco was his worst.
Yeah.
Did he?
6 and 4. 4 earned runs.
Yeah, he had that one again.
Because against Kansas City, that's still a quality start.
That is okay. So, but he won that game. That's why. And again, you want to know why I didn't lump San Francisco in there. The Yankees had a big lead in that game, and I think Boone let him go.
It's a big difference.
Right, yeah.
Boone let him go a little longer than he probably would have if they didn't have that lead. He was just trying to squeeze in another couple of outs out of him because I think he pitched. That was on a Sunday, right? It seems like Domingo pitches on Domingo.
Yeah, that's the second time.
Hey, that's part of why. If you go back and look at the 1998 Yankees pitching staff, their ERAs aren't eye-opening. They're mediocre. I mean, they're good, but they're not dominating. They had a dominant team where your pitching's a little different. You're looking to get a little more longevity than you are getting every single guy striking out and not making contact.
And he's given you length. He has not, outside of the first start of the year when he went 5. He's given you at least 6 innings in every one of his starts. And a couple of his starts, he's gotten into the seventh. I mean, so what? I mean,
he's seriously one of the best pitchers in baseball.
I think he has the most wins in at least the American League.
Yeah, I think I heard that on the way over.
Not that wins matter. But they matter when you're actually earning them. Like some guys get a bunch of wins, but their ERA is 4.5. This guy's earning his wins. He's going deep into games. He's not giving up runs. This guy's been really good, especially following another shit start from J Happ.
I think you got to give Brian Cashman a lot of credit for not trading this guy. He saw something in him that a lot of us saw, but I think Cashman had faith that he would put it all together. And I think still, as great as he's been, if the Yankees had their druthers this season, he'd be in AAA right now.
Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking about this driving the other day. I think I got the Yankees mindset now. I think I figured it out. At least with the pitchers. If there's a guy if there's a guy that we're dying to see and the Yankees keep telling us that he's not ready and that he's going to stay in AAA and so on and so forth, they're trading him. They just don't want him to be exposed to the major leagues. If it's
unless you're Chance Adams and you just have no shot at ever.
Well, they've tried to trade him. They've tried. You know,
you don't even hear his name anymore.
But like, look at Justice Sheffield, right? We were dying to see this guy. Yeah, they brought him up at the end of the year and we got to see a little bit of him, but they didn't want him to be exposed throughout this season because I think they had plans to move this guy. I don't think they were ever that high on him that they sold us on. But now you got guys like Herman. Look at Loizaga. Loizaga is our number 1 prospect, correct?
I believe he still is. Yeah.
He's our number 1. And yet they're like, he's going down. Paxton's hurt. Okay, let's call up Loizaga again. It's like no big deal. But if he's your number 1 prospect and you're trying to protect him, like we always see the Yankees protect guys, you're not bringing him up so easily like that. I think it's because they have long plans for him in the future.
I would say that it's, very accurate.
But if they were thinking maybe we could get a good piece for Loizaga, they'd be like, nah, we're going to keep him down there. He's not ready.
It told you a lot about what they felt about Justice Sheffield when Loizaga, who, let's face it, no matter, how deep you follow this team, you really didn't know a lot about him last year. And we didn't
even know how to say his name.
And he was up here making starts while, Justice Sheffield was collecting dust and filming scenes for Homegrown.
Yeah. We didn't even know how to say his name.
Bring up Justice Sheffield did get called up. Can you bring up his stats real quick? I don't think he's fared well so far.
Well, we brought him up a couple weeks ago. You mentioned he wasn't doing well. Was that minor leagues?
Yeah, it was minor leagues. He's pitched in 1 game, 3 innings, and he allowed 2 runs with 4 walks. So
there you go. He just still has command issues.
I don't know if they sent him back down afterwards, but that's basically.
I don't know.
That
says a lot, though. I think I'm onto something when I say that. If the Yankees are up in the air of if this guy is a true factor to this team in the future, they might protect him in the minor leagues to keep his value up. Whereas a guy that they're confident they're gonna keep around, they're a little bit quicker to call them up and throw them into the fire.
Oh, here there's Ryan's trying to find out if he got sent back down again, but I don't think he did. But here from a Seattle perspective, they're saying he might be destined for the bullpen, which that's not why the Yankees acquired him in the first place. And
not at all.
And it was a really good move on Brian Cashman's part to trade him, even though Paxton's on the injured list right now.
But correct me if I'm wrong. On Domingo Germán.
Look up Eric Swanson because he got called up and I think he had a pretty good debut. He was the second piece in that trade.
Correct me if I'm wrong with Domingo Germán last year. Putting aside that 1 inning that would always kill him, even when he was great last year, he wasn't on this level. He's on a different level right now.
I think he might have figured it out.
And he looks like he lost 25 pounds somehow from last year. He's scary skinny. But he might have figured it out. It's still early, though.
I mean, he had 1 good start there against the Indians. He won. This is Eric Swanson. He gave up a run, 2 hits over 6. But other than that, He hasn't pitched well. 2 runs in 2 innings.
Ooh, look at his last start.
6 runs in 4 innings. 4 runs in 5 2/3. So, it's like
This guy was in that Paxton trade?
yeah, he was the second piece.
Oh, everyone flipped out about it.
Loser.
Everyone flipped out about it like they knew who he actually was.
I knew who Eric Swanson was, but I wasn't upset over losing him.
Is it Dansby's bro? Dansby Swanson?
Never heard of him.
Isn't that the guy in the Braves?
Yeah.
Really?
Second base?
Rock.
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
So since we're talking about the guys that got traded for him, let's bring up James Paxton here, who landed himself on the injured list. Not really surprising given this guy's history. You were hoping that this would be the year that he shed that moniker of being injury prone, but luckily again, it never seems to be anything arm related with him. You knew just watching the game on Friday, you knew there was something wrong with him. He couldn't locate for shit.
Yeah. The weather doesn't help. It was slick that day, Friday or no? It was a little slick, I think, all weekend.
I don't really remember. I don't remember the weather. I mean, it was only 2 days ago, but I don't really remember.
The weather doesn't help anyway because
left knee.
Let's just talk about this environment that we record in. It was so hot last week that I was sweating. And this week I have a sweatshirt on. I'm cold.
What knee do you think is more important as a left-handed pitcher?
As a left-handed pitcher?
Yeah. The one you're pushing off the rubber or the one you're landing on?
The one you're landing on for me.
So then that's good that it was his left knee.
But I'll say this. I'm not a major league pitcher. Right. I'm not someone who has perfect mechanics where you're supposed to drive with your back leg.
You had good mechanics.
If you pitch correctly and you're a guy who throws 98 miles per hour, that's not coming from your arm. That's coming from when he's lifting his front leg. His next motion, and you can slow down any pitcher, the next motion is on their back leg to come down and then push out. Something that I never had enough strength to do anyway. But for a major league pitcher, maybe it is that leg he's pushing off. Maybe that is worse. I don't know. That's a good question.
The left knee is, because I always get twisted with directions. His left knee is his push off leg.
Yes,
correct.
Rubber.
That's why he was having trouble locating, because he couldn't get that.
Yeah, and then you can't really follow through.
See, really, I would think that he would have location issues with his landing leg.
What knee was it for CC?
It was his right leg, I believe.
Yeah,
his landing leg.
No, because if it does, to me, it makes sense, because if you can't push off properly, it's different than landing, because if landing, the pain is you already threw the ball.
Yeah, but you're favoring it too, which could throw off your whack a little. But my point was not just pushing off, but really all of your weight at one point, if you have proper mechanics, is resting on that push off leg. Uh-huh. So again, I don't know. He's putting a lot of pressure on that knee to get that ball to 97, 98 miles per hour. It's probably worse, actually, the push-off leg.
And then you wonder how much it was. I mean, he said he was dealing with it for the past couple starts, and this start, it was like really an issue for him. You wonder how it was affected by having to throw those extra pitches when Gleyber Torres booted the double play ball.
Yeah, and putting that all aside, here's what frustrates me. Is Paxton telling people that his knee is bothering him during those previous starts? Or is it being worked on? Is it being looked at to not get to this point where now he's not even picking up a baseball for 5 to 7 days?
I don't know.
I mean,
fire the training staff, right?
I just feel like something could be prevented. No, I'm talking. This is more on Paxton. I'm saying, is he being vocal that his knee is bothering him?
No, Boone said that he knew about it.
Then I'm sorry, just something should be done before it gets to the point where this guy's coming out of the game in the third inning.
So the minute these guys feel even the slightest little thing, you want to shut them down?
No,
because that's basically what you're saying. If you want to avoid getting to this point, because these guys are going to, even this early in the season, guys are going to have nicks, pain, scrapes, whatever. Are you supposed to go through it, or the minute that you feel something, skip? I got this. It's like a 1 out of 10, but I got this. And then what are you supposed to do? Shut the guy down?
You need to listen to the player. He's feeling discomfort or pain. Then on his days where he's throwing, doing groundwork, whatever, see what's going on, figure out, try and diagnose what is happening in his knee, and then evaluate if a Major League Baseball player who throws 98, who pitches 100 and something pitches a game, should really be going out there the
Did
next
anything
start.
look like anything was wrong with him before the start?
No.
Okay, so.
But
And then if you're Aaron Boone, you're not a doctor. Your training staff tells you he's okay. The pitchers doesn't seem to think it's that big of a deal. So what are you supposed to do as Aaron Boone? Not start the guy?
I'm just saying, let's try and figure out what's going on with his knee and see if it's something that
I
isn't
think
going
this
to
is
be
an overreaction on your part to him being injured right now.
I'm sorry, but if you showed up to Yankee camp and said my arm hurts, aren't they going to try and figure out what it is? And if you keep throwing, if it's going to affect you or if it's something that you can work through?
So fire the training staff then.
Maybe.
Because that's
if he's telling them that his knee is bothering him and then the next start he comes out and then can't even walk or can't even pitch anymore, that's a problem.
Well, if he had this thing for 2 or 3 starts and it didn't really affect his pitching for 2 or 3.
But it was bothering him.
So that's what I'm telling you.
Figure out what it is. Figure out what it is.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you then. The minute that anybody feels anything, you have to shut him down then.
No, you have to properly
because
evaluate what's happening.
So can something get worse over time?
Yes.
So
So if they knew, what was the diagnosis of
There's inflammation, right?
inflammation of what?
His knee.
Oh, the bone, the cartilage in the knee or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Or was it a tendon?
Oh, it was, what is it? What's the official diagnosis? They said he had inflammation in his knee.
Soreness.
You know what inflammation is? You ever
Yes.
have inflammation?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
You ever
that's
take
what.
naproxen? It's an anti-inflammatory.
I never heard of it because I'm dumb and stupid.
Right. So if it's something that can get this bad where he can't even get through the 3rd inning and now he's on the IL, DL, whatever the hell you want to call it, I'm sorry. It should have been evaluated better.
And how do you know it wasn't evaluated better?
Because he's on the injured list now.
It could be at 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then
If
all
it
of a
was
sudden jump to a
inflammation,
9.
Knee inflammation.
If it was inflammation of a tendon that they felt needed time to heal,
10
then they
days.
should have shut him
It's 2
down when he
starts.
was when he started feeling it.
All right. So do you think that that's what it was? You think that they haphazardly sent James Paxton out there?
Maybe.
I don't think so. I think that's
Well, they knew he was having issues in his knee, in his push-off knee, and now he's on the injured list.
so. That's where we're gonna go with this. Then the second you feel anything, the second you feel it, your arm falls asleep. That's it. You're on the injured list.
No.
you laid the wrong way.
No, you know what you do? Oh, your arm's bothering you?
that
Oh,
quote.
it's just
What?
it's just your arm asleep. You're fine. You can go back out there. You'll be okay.
It just kind of got to the point where I was feeling it every pitch. Other starts, I wasn't feeling it on every pitch. I was able to work through it a bit better.
If it's something, if Aaron Judge came off the field and said, "Oh, my arm's bothering me," and Steve Donahue looks at it and says, "Oh, you just hit your funny bone. You're good. I evaluated it. I checked you out. You're fine." That's one thing. But if Aaron Judge comes off the field and says, "Oh, I'm feeling something in my shoulder. You have a little inflammation in your rotator cuff, whatever." Maybe we should shut you down for a couple days and see if the inflammation goes away. You really shouldn't go back out there and be. Or would
So
you
don't
rather?
think you don't think they monitor him through his starts, through his bullpen, his
They
side work?
clearly didn't see this as something that could get to this
He
point.
didn't. Well, he wasn't even in that much pain. It says it right there. He was able to work through it. These guys are always. So this is what I'm telling you. Every little thing.
Nope.
Oh, I cut my fingernail the wrong
Every
way.
little thing you should evaluate.
I got
yes.
a little blood here. IL right
No,
away.
You're not listening to me.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but if the guy's getting a clean bill where it's just a little thing and he can work through it, then
But why is he getting a clean bill? Because he clearly couldn't work through it.
He worked through it for 3 starts.
And what happened on the 4th?
Well, now
Maybe
we're at a
it should have
point.
been something that he shouldn't have been working through. Should have let it heal properly. No more inflammation of the knee, and he wouldn't be where he is now.
So guys can never. We have a big enough issue in this with people thinking baseball players are soft and they can't tolerate pain. So now the second that they even feel the slightest little thing, we got to shut them down now.
No.
Yes, that's what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm saying to evaluate it.
We'll move on now.
I'm saying to evaluate it.
All right, so they didn't evaluate it.
They didn't evaluate it properly.
Okay.
If they did, he wouldn't have been pitching and he wouldn't be on the IL right now.
All right, you're the medical doctor. I forgot about that, so we can move on from that.
I'm right and you're wrong.
It's not that simple. Ryan's just being quiet.
I'm staying out of this one.
Oh, James, it's just a little fluid in your knee. We don't have to shut you down. Let's drain your knee. And you'll be fine by the next time you start. Oh, James, it's inflammation in something in your knee. Maybe we should make sure this heals properly.
So what do you think
they're
honestly, before I lose my mind here, what do you think they're doing when he comes to them with this? What do you think they're doing? Sucking on a lollipop?
Maybe. At this point, maybe.
So fire the training staff.
Maybe you should.
Okay.
Okay?
Bring in Dr. Nick Riviera.
Maybe.
Why don't you go do it?
Maybe I will. I'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, right.
Be like, oh, it's James Paxton. Have your autograph.
Shut down.
Shut down.
No, Chris, you could actually go to the MLB shop we have here and spend $100 and you might get my autograph.
I parted my hair the wrong way. Now I got, sometimes when you part your hair the wrong way, it gets a little.
It hurts a little.
It hurts a little bit.
If you guys would actually listen to what I'm saying.
Shut down.
So,
3 weeks on the IL.
If you would actually listen to it, then you'd understand. But I guess it's something that's beyond your intellectual intellectual comprehension.
I just can't comprehend your intellect.
See, when he wants to prove that he's smart, he'll back up two big words. Not even big words, medium-sized words together, so it'll make him sound smarter.
You could say they were big words. You could have complimented me there.
I mean, really, if at 30 years old, if you think intellectual is a big word, you got bigger problems than that.
I'm not a good reader.
I don't read that well. I don't do the reading. Me no read. What do we say? Oh yeah, Sevy. Cashman was on MLB radio. He said it shouldn't. He said maximum 3 weeks for Paxton, but Paxton's not going to pick up a ball for a week. So
he's on MLB radio.
Is this Aaron Judge maximum time or is this legit?
If anything, you really want to get on the Yankees is about it's these timetables that they give. That's why they've been very vague with certain things.
You want to know why they have inaccurate timetables? Because they're not being given the proper information.
All right, so fire everybody. Just fire everybody. Okay. Can we just do that? Because then when the next set of people come in and the same stuff keeps happening.
You don't know that.
You fired.
You don't know that would happen.
All I'm saying is that if with all the money the Yankees spend on analytics and everything else that they do, right? That they're cutting corners with the medical staff.
No, you don't hire and pay someone and think they're shitty training staff, but maybe they're just not up to par.
The team surgeon's like a world-renowned surgeon. He operates on
aren't they
king of England,
sponsored by Montefiore too?
But no,
that's true.
But they're a bunch of, but everybody is just like a bunch of dummies over there.
Best doctors. Sorry.
All right, so. Paxton's not going to pick up a ball for a week. He should be out 3 weeks. Even before they gave the timetable, if he's going to, I was saying to myself, if he's going to miss a start, just put him on the IL anyway, which now he'll probably miss about 2 or 3 starts. Fine, whatever. Now, Severino out until at least the All-Star break. Is he pitching this year?
No.
I don't think so. I don't. I really don't.
Do you want to?
I should correct myself. I do, but we might not see him until late August, September.
They should be getting Montgomery back. Herman looks like he could be a decent pitcher this year. Loaizaga could step up. I think the only way we see Severino really this year is if the pitching just completely falls off and they need him.
I'm sorry.
They need him. They need him. They need
They need him. They need him to come back strong. They need him.
The second best record.
No, they need him to take them through.
I don't think they really need him, guys. I think you're overrating the
because
level that you think he is.
If they're, I think even if you're going to get him through, if you can get him healthy even in September, and this team wants to win a World Series, they need Luis Severino.
So they can't win a World Series, you guys think, without him?
I think it would.
I think they
need. You're saying need.
No, they can, I guess, without him.
They don't really need him.
I I honestly don't know.
It'll be harder, sure. He throws 98 miles per hour.
No, bro, because here's the problem.
If you can tell me if you would feel a lot better about yourself if you had a healthy ace level Luis Severino.
I'd feel a lot
James
better.
Paxton.
But I don't think we need him. There's a difference. Would I feel better with him? Hell yeah. He's a great pitcher.
I'm not going to sit here and say
league.
they need him, because if he doesn't pitch this year, then my hopes and dreams are shattered.
Because I think this team is totally capable of winning it all without him.
Can I say this?
With him, yeah,
tell
they
me
are a better team. Definitely.
Tell me if you think I'm right here or if I'm over exaggerating.
I think you're wrong anyway.
Yeah,
But-
you're definitely wrong.
If Jordan Montgomery is like, if he's brought back up to be an integral part of this pitching staff, that's a problem. Like, something's wrong. Because with Herman, if Herman's going to pitch this way, if Paxton comes back healthy, if CC's pitching, whether it be 5 innings a day, 6, whatever, every time out, and he's pitching well, where does Jordan Montgomery fit in to this team?
Maybe not this year, but I'm sure that.
No, I'm talking this year only. I think
If the Yankees need
Maybe you're
Jordan
right.
Montgomery to come,
it's an issue.
if they need him to come back this year, yes, it's an issue.
I didn't know if I was
That's fair.
being out of line at that point. And it's not fair to Montgomery because he's been pretty good.
No, yeah, that has nothing really to do with him.
And you got Loizaga. You tell me Montgomery's going to...
Right. I think they would keep Loizaga ahead of Montgomery.
Nah, man, maybe in that
At
instance.
this
year.
point,
This
bro,
year.
at this point, they would, because they're just going to Loizaga every time someone falls out of this
Because
rotation.
now they don't. I mean, who else would step up?
Right.
If you gave them Montgomery as an option instead of Loizaga, if you need somebody to step in at that point, maybe then
Like,
they would
I
change.
just feel like something would have to be really, really wrong beyond what it already is for Montgomery to have to be brought back up and to be put into this rotation. I really
don't
think that would be an issue.
I'm sure it'll all work itself out.
All right. Speaking of work itself out, J Happ had another miserable start yesterday, Saturday. He got porched a couple of times.
Almost got porched. How about that Cameron Maben play?
Oh my God.
I was delayed on the game because I was out Saturday afternoon, and then I came home, and then I watched him miss the one, and I tweeted, Aaron Judge probably robs that ball, the one that he missed.
I didn't see the one he missed.
And then I was on Twitter like a dumbass knowing that I was behind on the game and so the score was. So I just went to live anyway.
And you missed it?
And then it was right there. Like right at that second, he made that play. And I put out a tweet. I was like, redemption.
It's so funny that you just mentioned a play that you thought Judge would have made. My next point to the Cameron Maben thing was, and we all know how much we love Judge defensively on this show. I don't think Judge makes that play.
The one Maben made?
Yeah. I know Judge is tall, but I don't think he gets up that high the way Cameron Maben did.
Yeah, that was
and
different
robbed that
than
ball.
the ones that I've seen Judge rob.
I don't know if
I don't
Judge
know if he needs to get up that high because he's taller.
but that's my thing.
He might not have been able to get there.
Even with his height, I don't think he gets to that ball.
all right, so he's a bum now.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's funny
It
though.
was a great play.
It's funny that
But the one that Maben missed, Judge makes.
Okay.
That's funny. I didn't see that. I didn't see that play. I didn't even know there was another one.
Maybe not. Maybe.
Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Maybe. Maben.
And so are you worried about Happ?
Not worried about Happ yet.
Because he's got stupid guy splits right now where he's phenomenal on the road and terrible at Yankee Stadium.
I'll tell you why I'm not worried about Happ. Because up until this injury now, Paxton had been pitching really well. Herman's been stepping up. CeCe's been pitching well. Tanaka's hit or miss. Hopefully he gets back on track. Happ really hasn't been that much of a factor.
Well, he needs to be now.
And now he needs to be. So now maybe I will start worrying about him. But up until this point, I really haven't. I think he has time to work it out and to be the guy that they thought they were getting.
Well, the problem with Happ is that he's a fly ball pitcher in a ballpark that yields cheap home runs. So, even, and this is what I don't like. I love Aaron Boone, but I don't like when he makes excuses for when his guys give up home runs. Well, that home run. He was like, those aren't home runs anywhere else. Well, you know what? They're home runs here.
He said that?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Like
Because-
they're home runs here.
Because we sit here and fight people.
And you like it when your guys get those cheap
Right.
home runs. So
We
you can't turn around and say that, well, I don't think he pitched that poorly. He got porched. That's not a home run in 29 other ballparks. But you know what? It's a home run here. So I don't really want.
If you're going to take the credit when you're hitting the home runs, you got to also take it away when your guys are giving up the cheap home runs. That's this ballpark. End of story. It is a home run here, and that's it.
He's got to figure out a way. I know he's not a ground ball pitcher. Maybe last year he's got to figure out. Last year we didn't really think he was that much of a strikeout pitcher, and he came out and he had a bunch of really big strikeout total games. If he's got to figure out how he can get back to that and maybe strike out more guys, even if that means that he's going to pitch less innings, I'd rather have more quality than quantity. Quality and quantity
And you know what?
in terms of innings now.
Here's another reason why that kind of bothers me, what Boone said. You have a bunch of guys in your lineup when they're healthy who are built for this stadium for a reason, where you try and adapt to the ballpark you're playing 81 games in. Same thing goes for the pitchers. You got to know your ballpark, and you got to know
why he said it, but it didn't sit well with me.
No, I understand it too, but I wouldn't have said it if I was him. I wouldn't have worded it that way.
Yeah.
You could have said something like, look, I'm not that concerned because we know how short the porch is out there. And a lot of times, more than not, if we're on the road, that's not a home run, but at home it is. And he's got to know how to pitch to this stadium. But to say he got porched on a couple and they wouldn't have been home runs anywhere else, that's not cool.
Yeah, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs on the road, and he hasn't given up less than 3 runs at home. Reading that correctly. Maybe that top start. Another 4 runs at home. Yeah, so much better on the road so far. I don't know.
Again, it's still early with him.
7 starts.
His numbers in Toronto, they weren't. I didn't want to touch him because his numbers in Toronto were very pedestrian.
Even the start he made right before he came to the Yankees last year, he got shelled.
I think Happ at his age is a prime example of a pitcher who really finds it when the weather starts warming up in midsummer, and he's a guy you can really rely upon.
Yeah, so his numbers were really pedestrian, like leading into the trade, and and then he came over here and he pitched phenomenally. So maybe when it gets warmer out, we can expect more out of Happ, but we need more out of Happ now because now you're down another guy.
Yeah, I mean now you're relying on him in a different way.
But the Yankees will be getting somebody returning to the lineup. Today, you'll be listening Monday, and got a player back Saturday. So we'll dive into how that breaks down with the offense right as soon as we hear from our sponsor.
Let's hear from baseballism.com. Make sure you no longer use promo code NYYST. Please now use NYYST15 to save 15% off your entire order. Check out all their accessories, their t-shirts, top to bottom, men, women, kids. I promise you will not be disappointed. Head over to baseballism.com, NYYST15, and we'll be back after this.
Within a game, a bond is made. He teaches his boy a game he played. 2 gloves, 1 ball, a day at the park, and the 2 play catch until it gets dark. And his boy does better than he thought he would. So the 2 played catch as long as they could. The boy and his friends, they play in the streets, tennis shoes and cannons, no bases, no cleats. They hit home runs and they turn double plays. 1 great catch, and he's Willie Mays. But the sun starts to set in the old neighborhood, and they played in the streets as long as they could. The boy goes to school and plays for his team. He develops his craft and follows his dream. He has moments of glory, he has moments of shame, but they shape his life and they make his name. But he begins to get old, and it's understood. The boy played the game as long as he could. The boy, now a man, he has a son of his own, and he teaches his son a game he was shown. His son's first game, he sits in the stands. He yells out instruction, but it's not in his hands. And being late for the meeting was not in the plans, but a cheer for his son as long as he can. This is America's brand. This is baseballism. Do you believe in baseball?
All right, we're back here on episode 116 of the NYYST podcast. Go to baseballism.com, use the code NYYST15 for 15% off your order. Saturday afternoon, we saw the return of Miguel Andujar to the lineup.
Miggy.
Which was nice,
Started seeing the ball a little better today now.
I thought through the past the two games that he's been back, he's been decent offensively. But Saturday's game, he looked like he was wearing a blindfold out there at times in third
Terrible
base.
play.
It's really tough, though. It's tough because he's put so much effort into a part of his game that he's been below average on, and then to get set back like that and just to work to get back onto the field. I never thought we were going to see him again this year.
Well, the first error was he didn't get his glove down, ball scooted under him, Okay. Then the second one, I don't know. He was trying to throw the ball.
Total mental thing. He made up his mind at the last second that he was going to throw to second, and then he just.
If you saw where he was facing, he threw the ball. He threw the ball exactly where you would expect the ball to go.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, but
didn't turn his body. He had no footwork on it. It's just
very, very bad.
my point is this, though. When you go to the gym consistently, right, for 5-6 months, and then you hurt your back or something, you're rehabbing your back. When you get back to the gym, you need to work back up to where you were. And it's frustrating for that you've worked so hard, then you got a setback.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's the same thing with him, that this guy did nothing every single day but work on his defense. And then all of a sudden he was working on rehabbing his shoulder and then thrown right back into it. It's a setback for someone who that's a weakness for.
I get that. But this is a guy that had his flaws defensively, was benched in a decisive game in the playoffs last year because of his defense.
That wasn't because of his defense. You didn't know?
No.
Because
they wanted Neil Walker's
Boone
bat.
wanted Neil Walker's bat.
Okay. And that's why this guy, this was the big knock on this guy. And we didn't get to see anything. I mean, what did he play 3 games before he got hurt? We didn't get to see if he really improved defensively. Right. And he comes back, his first game back. It's like bad news bears out there with him.
Yeah.
And now the fans have a taste for, blood because now Gio Urshela is here. And Gio Urshela has done everything.
Superior defensively.
He is. And he's hit well too. So now the fans are like, well, Miguel Andujar can't field his position for shit. And, we got Gio Urshela here who's he could, if he played 140 games out there, he could win a Gold Glove.
A lot of Yankee fans have just become like these defensive, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but it's like Gary Sanchez could hit 4 million home runs and they're like, but the pass balls, we need someone else to start. I saw someone on a Facebook group that I'm on, a Yankee Facebook group, legitimately, and this was after Sanchez's 20 home runs this weekend. He posts, honestly, guys, do you think Gary Sanchez should be the starting catcher or Austin Romine? Because Gary really can't be the DH anymore because of Stanton coming back. I'm like, are you kidding me? Seriously. That people still think this? Like, that this guy can never just do enough to just let it go? Andujar is going to get ripped until he's perfect out there.
Was that Andujar's base hit today where Voit went first to third?
That was Sanchez went first to third. Which I was like, wow, he's feeling.
That was an awesome.
He looks a lot thinner.
I was like, he's feeling spry out there.
Yeah,
guy going first to third, and too bad they couldn't bring him in. But
yeah. I like that play though. That was nice. I like seeing that.
So I think for the time being, until Stanton gets back, the best Yankee lineup is Urshela at third and Andujar at DH. But when this team is completely healthy, and God only knows when that will happen, but it will happen this year. Miguel Andujar's got to play third base.
Yeah, but you're almost contradicting yourself, and we've talked about this. A guy who's weak defensively at third, now you want to throw him in the DH up until a certain point in the season when guys get healthy. you're making him even more stale at third base.
So you know what? Go
it's a problem.
You take infield before the game.
Yeah.
Drill.
It's not the same.
I know it's not,
Drill.
but drill.
It's not the same.
I understand that, but drill. Do it. Work.
Yeah. It's still going to set him back.
So what is he? You know, when he's working on his infield, who did he work with? Was that Adrian Beltre he was working with in the offseason?
No, it was it Beltre?
Yeah.
Was it him?
I thought Beltran worked with him a lot in the offseason.
Why would Beltran work with an infielder?
Beltran once spring training started.
No, but he was working with
some.
somebody in the before they
Pretty sure
reported
it was
to
Adrian
camp.
Beltre.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian
Yeah.
Beltre. You know, what are they doing? They're drilling. They're not, it's not game situation.
Why do they get Miggy with the weirdest? If you Google Miguel Andujar, they get him with the weirdest faces. Every picture.
So how do you take Urshela out of the lineup right now?
Well,
And Boone said he could play other positions, but
Second
then
base, I think.
You taking DJ LeMahieu out of the lineup?
no.
You can take Gleyber Torres out of the lineup?
How do we have
not
these
taking Luke
issues?
Voit out of the
How
lineup.
do we have these problems with so many guys injured? How do we have these problems
Cool.
that there's too many good players still?
Well, it's because one of them came out of nowhere and stepped up and become a good player. You weren't expecting this out of Gio Urshela.
No, I mean I always knew defensively he was really good.
Yeah, but he's playing out of his
But
head.
to be that
offensively.
good defensively and to also play the way he has at the plate,
That's why he should be playing, because he's hitting the ball. Because if Gio Urshela was, Gio Urshela, but still, a poor offensive player, good defensive player, then you really don't have an argument.
but would you rather sacrifice the defense right now and give Miguel Andujar the work for when these games in the midsummer to getting closer to October where he's more
No, because
into form?
I need to put my best 9 out there.
right.
Okay.
He's hitting
And you know
338
what?
right now, Urshela.
I agree with that. That's fair.
Who's your best 9? Is Gio Urshela one of your best 9 right now?
Right now,
Yes.
Okay, so then he has to play. And if that means Miguel Andujar has to DH most of the time, then he has to DH most of the
yeah.
time.
That's fair. Plus, you're giving his arm a little extra time to heal too.
Boone didn't seem to think that he was being hesitant out there on Saturday, but to me, I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't.
What, throwing wise?
Yeah, I don't know. To me,
Oh, it's always going to be in the back of your mind until you've done it enough where you're not going to get that pain back. It's got to be in the back of his mind, especially the rotator cuff, man. That is the worst injury. You literally just feel like your arm is hanging on a thread when you hurt your labrum like that.
there was one play in particular in Saturday's game where he took he sidestepped towards first when he was going to make the throw, and I think that he took an extra step to shorten the throw. It looked like to me that was in his mind to take one more step to shorten the throw.
And we all know he's a little bit of a mental, bit of a mental case. What's the word I'm looking for?
Head case.
Head case. What is head case at third base? And now to throw this injury on top of it, it's probably not a good
Miguel
formula.
Andujar stupid now. His mental
I don't
problems.
know, Chris. And now Clint Frazier is going to be coming back soon, or what?
Oh, well, very good, Ryan. Very good.
Is that a good segue there?
No, but anyway, I'll take it. Unless you want to talk about Miguel Andujar anymore.
No, I think we've gotten everything
And
out
it
that we
won't
need
be
to.
Talkman that is being sent down, huh?
Yeah, we got a parrot in here?
Did we say that already?
Yes.
We talked
No,
about
we
that?
didn't.
Not
talk
on the
about
show,
that on
but
the show.
when I
Well,
was
I'm bringing
going,
it
when we were
up for
going
the
over the
show.
pre-show notes, after the game got called today and Boone was doing his post game, he did say that even though they wanted Frazier to play 2 rehab games, he got pulled from the game today because they were playing in Pennsylvania, which there's similar weather to what we were dealing with today.
They didn't want to risk.
Yeah, which was fine. I had no problem with that. But then I thought that maybe because in that same interview that Cashman gave, he said either Monday or Tuesday. So I thought maybe they'd want Frazier to play one more game and then call him up Tuesday. But Boone said no, it'll be Monday. He's going to be activated. They haven't made a corresponding move yet, but somebody asked him if it would be Mike Talkman, who had a big hit in this game today, a 2-run home run. He said it won't be Talkman. And to me, even though I've been down on Mike Talkman because he's Mike Talkman, it makes sense right now.
I think we just have to live with Mike Tauchman for who he is. He's going to give you his big hits, I guess, here and there. And when he's bad, he's got
11 RBI. He's 4 home runs. So, I mean, it's not like he has no production, but
no, he's had some really big hits at some big times.
I think he was like 4 for his last 45.
So who's the move?
Home run?
Probably going to be Estrada. You haven't seen him play in probably a week now.
Yeah, but I also think they want him down. I don't think they want him up here.
No.
For him to be up here, it had to take all these injuries. They want him down there.
I think he was literally the last position player on the 40-man roster.
He was.
Even though Frazier's coming back, and I did tweet, I hope an outfielder comes back soon so we don't see any more of Mike Tauchman. It does make sense because who are your healthy outfielders right now? Brett Gardner, Cameron Maybin, Mike Tauchman, and now Clint Frazier. So now you have 4 actual outfielders, whereas opposed to if you had to spell somebody out there, it'd be like Tyler Wade or Tyro Estrada, which you really don't want to do.
Do you know what frustrates me to no end? Wasn't Stanton like supposed to be with the team in Arizona and he was like on the brink of coming back?
And he was never on the brink of coming back.
I thought they were going to activate him.
Who told you
or
that?
he was going to be with the team.
But
he wasn't even with the team.
They did say that, but then he was supposed to be with, he was just going to stay.
Yeah, because it was only 2. It was only 2 games to make him do the extra flying. They said forget it.
So when is
he's
do we have a timetable?
No, he's gonna take BP on the field this week.
So another 4 weeks,
maybe 2 years, maybe never. And Jacoby Ellsbury's stink is still on this team because when you're up in the 300 level and they have the pictures of the players on the pillars there.
They still have him up there?
Yeah.
You should have brought a Sharpie today. Cross his ass out.
Yeah, cross it out. So, I have no problem with Mike Tauchman being there right now. And I've seen people, and this is what I wanted to bring up too while we're at it, is I've seen people getting on Brett Gardner in the last couple of days. Look, here's what I'm going to say about Brett Gardner. Him and CeCe Sabathia were both brought here for the same exact thing. They were brought here to be veteran leadership, to have key but minor roles on this team.
Absolutely.
CeCe was supposed to be here to be your 5th starter, right? Which isn't necessarily a minor thing, but not to be counted on to give you big innings, which now he is because of injury.
I don't fully agree with that anymore.
What?
I mean, still, I don't. Only because Domingo Germán's been so good. If Paxton just went down and Domingo Germán was shit, I'd say you would need much more out of CeCe. I still think he's okay with the 5 innings and a few runs.
No, but yes, you still need those great 5 innings out of CeCe. But again, he's your 3rd star? What is he, your 3rd starter now? Maybe you want to bump him ahead of Tanaka right now?
No, you can't.
But, when we put this team together, when this team was put together, you thought anything you got out of CeCe was gravy. Now it's essential. You need it.
And we said that can't happen this year.
But it did. So the same thing with Brett Gardner. Brett Gardner was only supposed to be a 4th outfielder. Brett Gardner was only supposed to hold down left field until they deemed that Clint Frazier was ready. And now what happened? Brett Gardner's your starting center fielder.
And look, to Gardy's credit here and fairness to him, he has had some big hits for this team in the early going. He has contributed in a big way in some moments. Just in the same breath, he's also been really shitty in some moments.
It's like when Bart Scott said the other day on his show, it's like the Yankees need to address Brett. It was after we probably mentioned it in the last episode.
No, we didn't, I don't think.
Because it was after the Arizona game where he popped up or something with the bases loaded. The Yankees need to address Brett. What are you going to address? They have nobody else to play.
Oh, and also over the next 7 games, any Yankee fans out there, they don't even have to watch the games.
Because they're going to lose.
Because
Bart said they were going to win.
Bart Scott said they were going to go
10.
2-8. They got their 2 wins in, so we know they're just going to lose the rest now.
So, I mean, this is what we knew was probably going to happen with Brett Gardner. You didn't want him to play every day, but again, because of the injury situation, he has to. So how are you going to rip on Brett Gardner? What are your alternatives right now?
There isn't any. I still think you could be frustrated with the guy, but
what are you going to do?
There's nothing.
The Yankees need to sit down Brett Gardner for what? So you want an outfielder, Cameron Maybin, Tyler Wade, and Mike Tauchman?
You know what bothers me?
Is that going to excite you?
No.
Wouldn't you rather have Brett Gardner out there?
You know what bothers me? It's not on an individual player level.
The players.
It's not on an individual level. It's the fact that this season is pretty much a Hail Mary right now. Can you agree that if these injuries continue, where we get a guy back, another big guy goes down,
they won't make the playoffs?
Hold on. And they make the playoffs, and not only make the playoffs, but win the World Series, that it'll be the most impressive World Series win by any team.
I think you're drunk.
Why?
That if they're going to continue to suffer with injuries like this and big guys are going to be out and they're going to win the World Series?
I'm not saying all their guys out at one time. I'm saying that this could have been a big setback for this team, and it hasn't been.
No, it hasn't been.
And they're starting to get guys back. But if it's going to continue to be this bad luck process where I'm not saying all 13, 14 guys are on the IL, but you're missing big guys all year here and there, that if they do still win a championship at this point, it's really on a different level.
Here's what I need to see by June 1st. I need to see everybody in this lineup back except for Didi Gregorius and Luis Severino and maybe even Aaron Judge. If all those guys are back and then that's the end of it, then they'll be fine. But if this continues to linger where every time somebody else, you get one guy back, another guy goes down, you can't sustain this for much longer.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it in Arizona. It scared you. Like I said, it was only 2 games, but it did scare you that this was going to be the true path this team took. And then, the Twins come to town. So you can't really evaluate it too much either because the Twins just can't win in New York. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's at least we're starting to get good news. The good news is starting to outweigh the bad news.
Yeah, Hicks should be going on a rehab assignment this week, so hopefully he's not too far behind. I don't know if this is a complete pipe dream or not, but the Yankees said there's a possibility where Didi could start a rehab in 2 weeks.
Really?
Which means that I would think that he'd be back by June 1st if he's going to do a rehab in 2 weeks, even if they want him to play 7 to 10 games, which is kind of a hefty rehab, but understandable.
And I'm not saying you don't want Didi back as soon as he's possibly feeling healthy, but he's not even a guy you have to rush right now because of the production you're getting from guys like Urshela, DJ LeMahieu, and everyone. So for him to be taking a rehab that quick, he's got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, somebody saw Greg Bird yesterday walking on, it might have been Brian Hoke tweeted
on
it.
Crutches?
No, he's out of the walking boot, saw him walking on a treadmill and asked him a timetable for his return. And you know what his response was?
No, it doesn't matter, Brian. I have 6,000 more chances at this thing.
No, I said timetables are pointless, just like his career is.
Did he say just like my career is?
No, I added that, but he said
because he should have.
He said timetables are pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what else is pointless?
Man, that's dark, right?
Him even trying to come back.
And now he was just walking on a treadmill while he said that.
I don't know.
Just on a
I don't know if he was on
timetables.
He's walking like that's part of his rehab right now. He's just walking on a treadmill.
Right. That's
Jesus.
good. He's on the mill.
He's like power walking like a bunch of grandmothers in the mall right now.
He's getting close to Ellsbury status for me. He really is.
Honestly, out of all the guys,
just a guy I don't even want to think about anymore.
Out of all the guys that are injured, I mean, Troy Tulowitzki and Greg Bird, I mean,
they're the 2 guys you care least about.
You really don't even need them back, to be honest with you.
No, they're done. They'll never come back.
You know, it's funny. Ryan will like this. You know how they do like the in-between inning entertainment, or like they'll ask the players like random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They asked them who their favorite Game of Thrones character was, right? So all the guys, they're all naming like
Khaleesi, Jon Snow.
Yeah, like those
Tyrion.
people. Yeah, like those people who I have no idea who they are, but they're all naming them. And then Greg Bird comes on and goes, "Well, I like the dragons."
Did he really?
Yeah.
I was just making a joke.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's great.
But of course, he's got to be the weird one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hairless cat guy. All right, so the Yankees will bring up the schedule here. Let's see what we got going on.
Who's coming to town now?
The Seattle Mariners.
Aren't they playing the Mets soon?
Not soon enough.
The Mariners and then the Rays.
Yeah, so probably no midweek pod this week because it's a 4-game set and all the games are at night.
6:35.
I love those 6:35 starts. And actually, I'm going to the game.
Hate them.
I'm actually going to the game Thursday night. So
What are they giving it? They're giving you a Dunkin' card, right? On tomorrow night's game. It's like comes with $2 or something. I'm like, come on,
Yeah, that's
at least
great.
make it $5.
You sound like my wife. She was complaining about that today.
I mean, come on. Don't even. The card probably costs more than $2 to make. Don't even make it.
But yeah, I'm going to the games Thursday night. So
That's cool.
I don't know. What are the pitching probables?
Pitching.
Probably CC.
Tanaka.
Let's see. We got tomorrow. It's Felix Hernandez versus CC.
Win.
Tuesday, Gonzalez versus Tanaka.
Win.
Kikuchi, the Japanese import. We were just talking
Yes.
about a bunch of Japanese players. Yankees are TBD on Wednesday.
That could be according
Loizaga, right?
According to Aaron Boone,
Wednesday one?
it sounds like it will be Loizaga. They're not sure if they're going to bring him up for that start, or if they'll just bring him up and place him in a different part in the.
And then
rotation.
Thursday, is Leak versus Happ. So the Yankees won't see either of their two former farmhands unless they come out of the bullpen in this series.
Mm.
That would have been interesting to see Justice Sheffield take the mound.
I would have liked that, especially in New York.
So we'll probably be back next Sunday, unless Chris,
Following the
following the
Rays game
series.
at 1.
Yeah, the Yankees will be 0-7 at that point because
Bart Scott already, told us what was going to happen. Guy knows absolutely nothing about baseball, but
he's also one of these dimwits out there that don't really know if he wants Stan and Judge back because of the strikeouts.
I know it's early in the year, but I think this is a really big series against the Rays. I think the Yankees need to make a statement against the Rays this weekend coming up.
Is this their first time playing the Rays
Yeah,
this year?
you know what?
Yeah.
They got the Rays this weekend and then the Rays the following weekend at home.
Yeah, you know what? Show them what kind of team they really are.
I would like it if they went 4-2 in those two series, but if you went 3-3, I'd be okay with it.
I'd be okay with it, but I want 4-2.
All right, so we're good.
I'm good.
All right, so that'll be it for episode 116 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. Follow our sponsors, Baseballism at Baseballism. It's that guy, Ryan.
Go Yanks.
Chris. Say goodbye. Peace.